Hello everyone, welcome back in our Python tutorial series, and in today's tutorial we will learn about sets in Python. So the basic definition of set is a collection of distinct elements in an unordered fashion, and we can modify the elements of set so it is also a mutable type of data type. Okay, so let's start by initializing a set S like this, and if I print the type of S, if I execute it, see we are getting it is of set class. And in our previous video we have seen an easy way of initializing list or tuple, but there is no such way to initialize a set. We have to use the set constructor like this. So it doesn't matter whether I use these braces, whether I use square braces or I use round braces. It's gonna typecast every data type into set type. If I use curly braces, basically it is of dictionary type. We will learn in our further videos. So it will just typecast the dictionary type into set type. If I use square braces, it will just typecast the list type into a set type. And if I use round braces, it will just typecast a tuple into a set variable. Okay. So I will use curly braces. So let's define some values in sets. Okay, so these are the four values in sets. If I print the set 78, 21, 54 and 545, as you can see there is no order such as ascending or descending. Okay, it is just an unordered fashion. So since the position of elements are not fixed, so we cannot access any elements by using index. So if we try to do this, we'll get an error. Set object does not support indexing. Okay, so we can't access elements like this. If I add a duplicate value in this set and if I print it, then also I will get just a single value of that. And now here are some basic operations which we can apply on set. As dot add, the first function. If we want to add an element, suppose we want to add an element 2, and if we print as like this, see 2 has been added. So the position at which the 2 will get added is not fixed at all. It will just add randomly. Let me comment it. And the second function which we can use is as dot remove, or first of all we will use as dot update. Suppose we want to add multiple values at a time, so we can use this update function, but in update function we need to pass a sequence of those numbers, so we can use a list for that. Suppose we want to add three elements like 7, 45 and 99. So if I print this as, see 99, 45 and 7 is added in the set. Okay. Now if I want to remove any certain element, like I want to remove 21, so if I just execute this program and you can see the 21 is removed. If I there is a function known as pop also. Pop will just remove any element randomly, so it's advised not to use pop in set because you don't know which element is going to be removed. Okay, so and now another function is as dot discard. This function also removes an element from the set. For example, if I want to remove 21, this time I will remove 78. Okay, and if I execute this program like this, see 78 has been removed. And now the question arises, what is the difference between remove and discard? So it might ask by the interviewer in your interview. There's just a basic difference between both of them. Suppose if we are removing an element which does not exist in the set, in the above set, it will give an error. Then this element is not present in the above set. But if we use discard instead of that, it will simply not give any error. It will ignore the error even if the element does not exist. So that's the basic difference between discard and remove. I hope you will remember this difference. Now if we want to calculate number of items in set, we can just use len like this, and if I execute this code, see, we are getting length of our set as 4, but we have 5 elements in our set. As we have said that the set is a collection of distinct elements, so this 21 is counted as only one. Okay, so let's comment it. Now we will see some operations which we have learned in our earlier standards. For example, union, intersection, symmetrical difference, disjoint, superset, and subset. Okay, so first of all, we will make another set like this, and in this set we will add these elements. Okay, now our first function is s.union. So what union does, basically the union of two set means the resultant set will contain elements which exist in both the sets. So if I execute this, the resultant set contains all the elements which are there in S and W. Okay, so let me comment this. So now if I use S dot intersection W, so this intersection will return only the common elements of set S and W. So if I execute this program, see, only 21 has returned because 21 is common between both the sets. Now if I print s dot symmetrical difference, if I execute this code, symmetrical difference means it will return all the uncommon elements in both the sets. So for example, in S and W, what are the uncommon elements? Those are 54, 78, 545, 44, 88, and 23. So as you can see, here is the answer. These all are the uncommon elements. Okay, now let me comment it. Next function is print s dot is disjoint W. So what disjoint means, disjoint sets are those sets which don't have anything in common. So this function is disjoint will return a boolean. If there is a common element between both the set, it will return false, and if there is no common element, it will return a true. But since in our example there is a common element 21, so it shall return false. Okay, it is returning false. If we remove this 21 from here, and if we run this again, see, we are getting true because there are no common elements in this. Okay, now next function is print s dot is superset of W. This function means if S contains all the elements which are present in W, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Since in our example S does not contain all the elements which W contains, the answer would be false. And if I include all the elements which W contains, and if I run this program again, see, the answer is true. Okay, and now the next function is s dot is subset. Now if W contains all the elements of S, that means S is a subset of W, or we can say it other way also, that W is a superset of S. So if I write this function instead of this way, like this, W dot is subset S, and if I run this, see, I'm getting true, because yes, W is a subset of S, because that S contains all the elements of W. Okay, so these were all the basic functions which we can use with sets. Now I would like to tell you some advanced topic. As we have seen, these sets are mutable, but what if we want to make them unmutable? Like We don't want that anyone can modify these sets. This is possible. There's another type of class which is known as frozen set. Okay, so if I make a variable t and I initialize it with a frozen set constructor, so it's also kind of set, but the only difference is these type of sets are unmutable. Otherwise, all the basic operations are same, but we cannot modify anything in these type of sets. See, if I print this D, see we are getting frozen set like this. Okay, and if I tend to apply any operation, see you can see I can only use subset, superset, disjoint, symmetrical difference, intersection, union. These all are the basic operations which we can use with sets. But there are no operations like add, update, remove, etc. So this is the end of this tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and I've tried to cover all the major concepts of sets, and I've also told you the important questions which can be asked by an interviewer. And if you have any queries regarding today's lecture, you can mail us at nerdtoware@gmail.com, or you can simply ping us in our comment box. And if you do like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And you can also follow us on our social media handles, which are Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Enjoy learning.